Hey guys, Big Mo here from PTG. We're calling this video Riders on the Storm. So we had kind of got into a discussion about foul weather, predator hunting, and whether you could be successful at it. So in this video we're going to take a look. We decided let's get out there and try it and see if we can have some success with it. So we're going to take a look at some hunts that we did here. Well, there's some nasty weather that we went into, but overall I think we had a pretty good run here. So sit back and take you out here and get some pre-storm predator hunts in. So our first hunt here, I got Andrew and Kathy out with me, and we got out early one morning. You can see the storm clouds in the distance there. We got probably about 2 to 4 hours to get out here and get our hunts in. And so this was from our first stand of the morning. We didn't get anything out on this stand, so we kept the day rolling along, went in and called a couple more stands, and we started getting some action, saw some coyotes, and so we moved into an area nice and wide open. We're all running rifles here, and I got Kathy off to my right and Andrew, he's off to my left. So we've got this berm out there about 125, 130 yards out. Wind's coming at us left to right there, and we got 2 coyotes coming up that berm from the right side. So they come in from the downwind side like they usually do to take a look. Right now I'm talking to Kathy, trying to whisper to her. This is actually going to be her first coyote if she gets this one. And so she's a little bit nervous, and we're trying to get her dialed in, and this coyote's turning in, coming towards us. Looks like it's going to be a done deal. So I'm going to howl at him here. And there you go. She took her shot but missed. So the coyote's on the run, but the call goes into puppy distress, and as you can see, that coyote stopped, take a look back, and that's all she wrote. So we got that coyote. We actually managed to call in 5 coyotes that day, and Kathy did end up getting her first coyote that day. Good job, Kathy. And you can see the storm clouds behind her. So that was about it for us that day. So a week later, Jason and Justin hit me up to go on back out and be part of this exercise. So as you can see, we got the storm clouds in the distance again, and we got a green belt out there in that general direction of the wind, and we kind of figured coyotes might be laying up in that. So we get set up here. We're about 6 or 7 minutes into this, using bird calls because we were seeing a lot of birds flying around, and sure enough, here comes this coyote sidling on up from behind that hill there, and you notice it's stopping, it's taking a look, but that looks to be about all it's going to give us this day. It's looking around, and now it's spotted Jason. He's off to my left trying to get a bead, and coyote decides it's time to check out. As you can see, the coyote didn't make it very far, the 150 green. 308 South Point put it down, but that storm cell was pretty fast moving, pretty big. So we managed to get in 3 stands that day. You can see here we are. This is our last stand. This is it. We got rain all over us. We got wind. We got fog. You pretty much name it. It threw everything at us. But we did manage to call in 2 coyotes on 3 stands that day, and called it a day here. And it was a good thing we did, because as you can see, we probably should have had scuba gear on after that. It was it for us. So week 3 of this experiment, and I'm back out with Kathy and Andrew again, and this time the weather's just not cooperating with us. So rather than waste our time, we decided to pull up close to these rocks here and see if we could possibly call in a fox or a bobcat, or you never know, you could always get a coyote out of this. But you can hear Kathy whispering there, and she's got eyes on a fox up there in those rocks. It's a little hard to see. We'll get up close here in a minute with him, but couldn't figure out why this fox would not come down, and then lo and behold, there they are. We got a couple of javelina between us and that fox, and so chances are that little fox just doesn't want to lock horns with those javelina, so it's going to lay up there. And so the javelina checked out of here, or we thought they did, and so we go into some fox distress calls, and nope, here come our little javelina buddies back again. And at one point, I mean, they got close enough you could have reached out and touched them. But we're not going to give up, so we're going to wait for these javelina to check out of here. And so we're trying all kinds of different fox distress sequences to see, and there's that little fox. He'd come up on the rocks there, and really is interested, really is looking like it wanted to come down there, and for whatever reason it just wasn't going to come down. So, you know, you take a situation like this, you can learn a lot from it. Just pay attention to what that animal's doing, try different calls, see what happens, and just kind of log that stuff away for future reference. So we can see that we're able to keep its interest around, so moving forward we'll be able to use these calls again, and well, I guarantee you that fox is still going to be up there, and probably more than that one. So, you know, we'll go back in some point in the future and see if we can't get some foxes when the fur's a little bit better. But overall, this was still a pretty good hunt. We actually didn't put anything down that day. You know, like I said, the wind wasn't cooperating, kept the coyotes pinned down. So, but still was a fun day to see this fox up there and get some video of it. While we were having a lot of success with this experiment, not everything could go our way, like this fox getting away, and the weather was one part of that. So this weekend was a little rough, and then the next weekend, unfortunately, the weather turned even worse. So like all good experiments, not everything goes the way we want it to. So in week 4, we got pinned down with bad weather. So in week 5, we're a little stir crazy, a little cabin fever to get out. So Jason, Justin, and I head up. And as we were heading in, some fire equipment came by us. And so we stopped real quick, rolled the windows down, and sure enough, we had some howlers, so we knew where they were. We just raced up the road. Now we dropped in on top of them. We get set up here. You can see the clouds in the distance, pretty windy. That's kind of the general wind direction, but we just had a coyote howl off to our right. Now, this coyote that comes in here, I don't think was the same one howling at us, but it looks like it's trying to beat it in there. And Jason takes a great running shot on it. The coyote was trying to get out, and then the 308 puts it down here. And Jason's going to walk on down there and go get it, bring it up. And we made enough noise on this stand that this stand was pretty well burned, so we just decided to shut this stand down and wrap things up here. So you can see that using the bird calls, we're seeing a lot of bird action around here. We weren't seeing a lot of rabbits. So bird calls seem to be the calls that were real productive in this. So again, pay attention to what's going on around you. So here I'm just telling Jason to wrap it up, grab the dog, and let's get on out of here. And we went up the road. Bird action was real good because we had some bird hunters around us. And so unfortunately we had to share the desert with the bird hunters, and they burned a couple of our stands, so we decided to go ahead and get out. So with bird hunters all around, we decided to pull out of this area and head away from the bird hunters. So our next stand, we were further away from the bird hunting areas, and on this stand here, I spot a coyote out there about 500 yards out. So one of the downsides of being so far spread out was I couldn't communicate with the guys. I tried throwing some rocks at Justin to get his attention, but this coyote's popping up here on the lower right side. Jason got eyes on it. He threw a shot, but misjudged his elevation. That was the last stand we were able to get in before the weather really turned bad on that trip. At this year's Predator Master Convention, I was introduced to the Night Stalker tripod by Tom Austin of Night Goggles. And let me tell you what, this is a great piece of equipment here. You can see just how steep of an angle that I've got my rifle set up on. This was from the first stand that Jason had shot his coyote on, and I wasn't a big fan of tripods for a long time. They're hard to set up. They tended to be heavy. Not so with the Night Stalker. I'm telling you what, this thing is fast. It's easy to set up. It's easy to adjust. It's light. Very stable platform. All of the videos that you saw in this Riders on the Storm, we used the Night Stalker, mounted the camera there up on top of the scope of the rifle, and it just got us some great results. So reach out to Tom Austin from Night Goggles. They are well worth the money, and I can't say enough good things about them. So that's it for us from Riders on the Storm. So if you are curious about whether or not you can be successful predator hunting before storms, hopefully this video shows you that if you use the right calls, watch your wind, get some good stand setups, you can in fact be very successful hunting before storms.